to become. Welcome, and let's get started. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another That Worship Guitar Show episode. Apologies for that. Normally we have these on Thursdays, but unfortunately we had to move yesterday due to a scheduling issue. So we a different day today, but great to see everybody. Please let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And we've got Happy Day John tuning in from Malaysia. Hey John, great to see you. Awesome to be here with all of you guys today. What we're going to be chatting about today is how to create some ambient textures on the guitar. Specifically to create some atmospheres on your electric guitar and the different sounds that you can use, number one, and number two, the different playing approaches that you can use when it comes to creating some ambient texture. So I think what I might do is let me go ahead and play a song for you guys, and then I'll do some play around with some of the ambient textures and the techniques that I'm about to show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into that shortly. So we've got Calvin tuning in from Malaysia. Hey Calvin, awesome to see you. We've got another Doyaduk tuning in from the Philippines. Hey, great to see you. And we've got Cephas from India. Hey Cephas, great to see you. And we've got Nira tuning in from the Philippines. Wow, we've got the Philippines representing here today. That's awesome. Really great to see you guys, and we are thankful to have this opportunity to go ahead and tune in from anywhere in the world, and then we can go ahead and jump into the stream. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and get right into business, but let me play right away for us the All Hail King Jesus. We've kind of been jamming with that over the last few, I almost said Sundays, Thursdays, and just kind of show you the different techniques in action when it comes to an actual song. So it's always good to play these things in a musical context, because sometimes you can practice things on the guitar, but then it's a little bit removed from what you might do on a Sunday. So I think it's good for us to do that combination. We've got James Lyle tuning in from Nashville, Tennessee. I love Nashville and Franklin, two super cool places. We've got another Tennessean tuning in, Eddie Satterfield. Hey Eddie, great to see you. From East Tennessee, and then we've got Reza Tan joining from Australia. Awesome, a wonderful global audience we have here today. So let me go ahead and fire up the track, and my approach here is going to be mostly showing you guys how to create some ambient textures in your playing. And what I'm going to do is I'll go to the third angle here so you guys can see a little bit clearer on the guitar. And I'm not necessarily trying to play the song the way I would exactly do it on a Sunday, but I'm going to show you some textures approaches that I can do. So let me go ahead and play this, and then afterwards we'll go ahead and break some of this down.
There was a moment when the lights went out.
All right, so let's go in and kind of break down a couple of things that I did in that song. The idea here is to create atmospheres and textures. So, obviously, the question here, is it delay effects? So yes, I have a healthy dose of delay. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I've got here. So, and kind of still going, and then it starts tapering off. So if I play like that singing melody where I doubled the vocal line, for example, so it kind of sounds nice and epic when played like that. But if I take away my delay and I just leave on reverb, listen to what it sounds like now. And if I take my reverb off, then it just doesn't have the same ring. So that's the first thing that you want to do when you're working with any of these kind of atmospheric type of sounds, is make sure you've got like a healthy dose of delay. I've got two delays here. The first one is simply a dual delay, and it sounds like this, with a bit of a reverse. If you've got headphones, well, yeah, it's got dual delay happening there with a bit of reverse sound happening on the one end. The reverse mix, in fact, is set to 100%. Like if I take that all the way down to no reverse mix, then you can hear that's what it sounds like. But if I go ahead and I put my reverse mix to 100%, then it's reversing the delays. And then on top of that, I've got another delay, which is also a dual delay, but this one doesn't have any reverse mix. And then I add in my reverb. Now I've got a very big sound that will help you to create some of that atmospheric vibe in your playing. So what you could have seen me do is in the beginning, then I just basically look at the chords, and the chords in this song is E, C sharp minor, B and A for the intro. So then for E I played C sharp minor, then B, A, etc. like that. So then if you have a big sound like that, it's gonna create a really nice texture that you can play over. So that's kind of thinking like a violin vibe. So that's the delay at work. If you want to have an ambient sound, you definitely need that. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys another version of that shortly. And we've got Daniel tuning in from Boston, USA. Hey, Daniel. And yeah, that's a great technique, the delay there. And we've got Nautilus from, how do you pronounce it, Peoria, Arizona. Welcome, great to see you. So that's the first one, is that kind of a delay. Now this song, the other thing to note is this song, let me just look at it. It is 74 beats a minute. So then my delay, sorry, I'm on the wrong song there. Let's go back to this one. Okay, so instead of F, this needs to be an E. So the delay is in time with the actual song. So I'll play that for you shortly in a little bit again. But what you want to do, like if you listen to, say, the verse, and let's do this. This is a good exercise. If we just listen to the verse. Let's zoom back a little bit here. I think The verse is going to start from here on, so let's listen. So here's the verse.
There was a moment when the lights went out, when death had claimed its victory.
Here's my B.
The king of love had given up his
And then A.
the darkest day in history. There on a cross that made for sinners, forever cursed his blood and one final breath and it was finished, but not the end we could have known.
So what I'm doing there is I'm listening to the chords. Now, if you've just heard the song, now let me play some notes here. So you can kind of hear at least the remnants of the song there as I'm just playing those single notes. So that's a good thing to do, is when you look at your chords, then ask yourself, what long notes could I play if I were to play like violin, right? So that's the first option, is just play any chord tone, because remember in that example, the chords are simply, let's look at this maybe, yeah. So E, then C sharp minor, then B, and then A. So those notes, for E it will be for C sharp, for B, and then for A. When you can play the individual notes of the chords like that, now you can choose what you want to do. And I've just shown you that. I'll play this one more time. I've shown you, without really knowing much, I at least know where my chord tones are. Those are my individual notes. It's triads. We've got tons of videos like that on the channel. So let me play this now and then just see how I'm going to choose some of those notes. So here's an E. And now there's my triad. So I pick one of the notes from the triad. My next note is there, that's a triad. And I grab that one. And then you see, so I'm just picking notes from the triads. The higher triad is right there, and then the C sharp minor. And then the B, which is from this triad. I'll just pick one note. And that's from the A. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I'm just picking one note from the triad, and then I can, any one of those notes will sound good with over the chords that I'm playing over. So that's the first thing for ambient sounds. Single notes, but just play a note of the triad, and then once you get the hang of that, then you can go ahead and you see, add some movement where you add additional notes to make some melody. So first you get one note. Okay, you can play one note, it's going to ring, and then you can start adding some non-chord tones, moving to a chord tones. So I'll just demonstrate that for you guys one more time. You've seen me now picking just one note of the triad as a nice ambient texture. Now let me do some melodic movement here, which will be like this. little bit more movement. Do you see that?
They're on a cross that made for sinners. For every curse His blood atones. One final breath and it was finished. But not the end we could.
Etc. So that's the first thing I would like for you guys to take away from this lesson today is one note of the chord. You're going to focus on one note. Imagine you're a singer singing on your own. You can only sing one note unless you know Mongolian throat singing. Then you can possibly do more than one note at a time. But for the most part, you are going to sing one note. So imagine on the guitar, you can only play one note. And then you can see which notes work well together. So with a cool sound, the note's going to sound nice and epic and ambient. And then you can do those. So hopefully that works for you guys. So that's the first technique, single notes. And we've got Norman Opido tuning in from Uganda. Norman says, thanks a lot for the lessons. My playing has greatly improved since I subscribed to WGS. Norman, that's awesome. That's why we exist. So I'm happy to hear that. And Norman, thank you so much. Norman sent us a super chat there. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Norman. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Didac has got that right, the triads. Now, when we went to the next section, then I basically, there's a great line. Then I just doubled that line, and I just kind of imagine that you're a string section and you just want to play that awesome melody line. But what I would love to show you guys real quick with that melody line, let's play it once so you can just hear it in context and then we'll break it down.
But not the end we could have known.
Here we go, check this out. So,
For the earth began to shake, and the veil was torn. What sacrifice was made as the heavens roared.
so that some of you might wonder, wow, that's a cool epic sounding melody. Where does it come from? Well, the chords for this particular song on the pre-chorus, it says, so the lyrics are, for the earth began to shake. So that's the lyrics. The chords are F sharp minor, for the earth began to shake. So you can see with all those notes, and then you've got every time the chords, right? So normally you don't have that fast chord changes, but sometimes you do, right? So in this case, we have that kind of we have that kind of vibe there. So when the earth began to shake, so it's F sharp minor. When the earth began to shake, let's see how I will play that. Yes, like that if it's just a triad. So when the earth began to shake, so that's just a melody. It's just playing when the earth began to shake. Can you see how it's just picking one note from the triad? When the earth began to shake. So it's just, and then the second part is, and the veil was torn, and then that's just again, and the veil was torn. So it's just picking one of the triad notes. So that's why it's so important for us to learn triads, and then we can go ahead and pick notes from those triads. In that case, that melody is hiding in plain sight. It's literally just one note of the chord. So, oh, sorry, my mistake there. Which is a C sharp there. So if you listen to the chords, can you see there's the melodies there? Etc. So that's when that happens for you on a Sunday. when there's a really powerful melody like that on the guitar. I mean, we all know, we've listened to some epic guitar solos where it's like really singing and it's very melodic and vocal, because a lot of this comes from blues guitar, right? And blues guitarists, they really emulated the human voice back in the day. So that's why the guitar solos of some of those epic blues guitarists were so melodic. So you want to kind of learn how to make your guitar sing. Because if I just played when the earth began to shake and the veil was born, what sacrifice was made, and then the heavens. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you want that power, right? That only the electric guitar can bring. You can't get that power with an acoustic. You can't get that exact power with just a piano. You kind of need that. And there were times when I played those big fat power chords. But if you go... the guitar can sing and it can growl. So it can do both of those things, right? So I want to encourage you to learn the triads and then learn how to make that sing. Now I can't sing, so I'm trying to sing on my guitar. And if you're a singer, then try and sing something and then try and replicate that on the guitar. That will make a massive impact in your guitar playing, because now you're going to sound more musical. And also, when we play melodies like this, that resonates with our congregation and it pulls them into the worship experience. So that's the second thing I want to encourage you with. If there's really cool melodies happening there, you don't have to play melody the whole time, because now we are only going to sing and we're not going to growl like on the low end and so forth. So you have to kind of find that balance, but that's a great thing to go ahead and do. We've got Tor71 saying grace, peace, and ambient guitar from Sarasota, Florida. Amen. And we've got Mike Krause from Wisconsin saying, glad I found this channel, super intuitive. Great to have you with us, Mike. And Turbo Cumin saying, hey everyone. Hey Turbo, I love your name. That's awesome. And yes, we have a question from Dick saying, is it called vibrato when prolonging sustained single notes? That's a great question, because in my case, the way I play it, the vibrato helps me to sustain a single note. So if I just played, for example, and I can go to our second camera right here. If I just play that, I mean, it's sustaining for a little bit of time. But the way I play it, so when I shake the note like this, that's vibrato. So vibrato is kind of a rapid alteration in pitch. So if you think it's like a bunch of mini bends. So I'm picking. If I do that slowly, it sounds like that. But if I do it faster, if you think of a song like, let's see, if we do. See, it just gives it that lyrical quality. Now, vibrato, that's what's interesting about that is you can definitely overdo it. You can either have your vibrato sound too nervous and too out of control because it's going to shake too much, or it can sound like awesome, very vocal. Like if you have a singer that overdoes vibrato, where they shake their voice a little bit to get that vibe going. It can also be not nice, right? But if you do it the right way, then it can really give it that lyrical quality. So yeah, there you go. I use vibrato to make my notes ring longer. So yeah, great to hear that, Turbo, and thank you. I'm glad you enjoy that. The tone, that's awesome. And then Manuel, one of our members, saying he woke up super early yesterday to be able to join. Sorry, Manuel, yeah, we had to reschedule. So woke up late today and here we are. So Twilight Zone for sure. Welcome. So those are the first two things. Single notes of the triad. And that's going to help you to kind of sing that stuff or play that stuff in tune. And the second thing is to actually play melodies. Now, when this song went to the chorus the first time, because remember we're talking not necessarily just ambient sounds like the one I ended the song with, which we'll get to in a second. Ambient sound is not necessarily... It's not necessarily just that, right? But it's textures. So when we went to the chorus, which is over here, I'll play that for us again and see if I can remember that.
As the heavens roar.
And then I played something like this.
All hail King Jesus. All hail Lord of heaven and earth. All hail King Jesus. All hail Savior of the
So I'll stop there for us. So what did I do there? Well, that's known in music as an ostinato. So it's a repetitive rhythmic pattern, all right? And I'm looking at creating... It's telling some stories, it's creating a feeling, it's creating an emotion, and I use the textures to do that. So when a song like this, it goes into that chorus, it's not yet a full band, the full groove. You can obviously hear it's just a reduced band there, but there's something building, right? And if you look at the lyrics, all hail King Jesus, all hail the Lord of heaven and earth, all hail King Jesus, all hail the Savior of the world. I mean, it's really epic lyrics. So I'm thinking to myself, what can I do as a guitar player to build some tension? Because this thing is building, it's growing, and I want to do that. Because if I just played chords, so which I could have done, and that can work, and then etc. So you can do long chords, but for me, I liked the vibe that this created. Okay, now why did this work? Well, the first chord is E, and then it went to E sus4, so that means this note is an E. I can play that. It's in my E chord, so I can play the E note. It's in the E chord. Then it went to C sharp minor, and check this out. C sharp is the minor third of C sharp minor. Apologies, E is the minor third of C sharp minor. So it's in that chord already. So I can stay on the E. And then it went to A. Guess what? E is also in the A chord. And then it went back to E over G sharp. And then it went to B. So that's what I like. Because now everything is moving. The band is playing chords and stuff, but the guitar is making a point here, and it's just like building the tension, and we're holding it. Think of that scene in Braveheart, right? Where William Wallace was standing there and all of his guys were ready to charge, and he kept shouting, hold, 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 as the other army ran towards him. The fact that he kept shouting, hold, 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 it built up that tension, and when it was finally time, they let go. So it's almost like if I have to find a way to communicate that. That's kind of what I'm doing there. I'm just holding. I'm not playing the chord changes. I'm just holding And I'm not doing it, I'm doing it in a strategic way because that same note is in all of the chords, right? So sometimes you can have repetitive stuff happening on the guitar. I'm a big fan of that kind of thing. So you can kind of do that. Yeah, so there we go. Let me show you something else you could do if you weren't going to go to such a high note there. You could probably do something like this. Oh, sorry, man. Why is that? Okay, we have a problem with the track. Let me just go to another one and then back, and let's see now. Okay, cool. So now I can do also something like this, where it's not low, but it's rather high. So what can I do to build some interesting stuff? Maybe something like this. Etc. So you can see what you prefer, but anything that's repetitive in nature, or that stuff is, think of that William Wallace scene in Braveheart, holding. So that's the second thing I would encourage you to do. And then obviously it went into that other section, which is the turnaround, and it kind of sounds like that Hallelujah. So from Jesus Culture, right? So they obviously play it in a slightly different way. Yeah, so depending on how you want to play that. But for this one, I just used what we call a polyrhythmic pattern. And now we're moving along with the chords. And then obviously from there, now the song is in full motion, and that's also when the full band kicks in for the first time. So those are a couple of things that I like to use for textures. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the other two sounds that I'm also doing there. And so Del Duke is saying he's learning a lot from the videos, playing guitar for a long time, but sometimes tardiness strikes and you stop. But now he's got the eagerness to keep continuing. Oh, that's awesome to hear. And yeah, it's a journey. Sometimes we lose a bit of that spark to practice. Either we practice and we don't see the growth we want to see, and that can be a little bit discouraging, or we are struggling to get out of a plateau, or whatever the case may be. But what kind of happens is a lot of stuff is happening below the scenes, below the surface rather, of everything that you're practicing, and at some point it just things come together, and then you have a growth spurt, and then there's a plateau again for a while, and another growth spurt. So the main thing is just to keep continuing, doing what you can. Yeah, so that's awesome. I mean, just keep going, and I'm happy to hear that there's an eagerness to keep improving. So that's awesome. Yeah, and we've got Noel tuning in from the Philippines. Hey Noel, welcome. Great to see you. Now, towards the end, I went to this sound. And now, remember, obviously some of the stuff I played was very guitar focused, but a lot of it was like, imagine I'm a singer, or I'm a violinist, where I can just play one note. And here I'm imagining I'm a keyboard player. So, for example, so two things happening there. I've got a sound, there's a video on our channel where I talk about my ambient tone that breaks down the sound. But voicing wise, I'm just playing. these open triads. So a sound like this is very big. So if you know your triads, these are still triads, they are just what we call open triads. So they go over a greater distance than an octave. So obviously when you have a sound like that, it's kind of inspiring to see what you can do with it. And then on our helix here, we also have a nice ambient patch, which I'll quickly plug in for us here. I'll play this one for you. Slightly different sound than what I just had now on the Kemper. So if I were to play a similar thing, and here's an even more ambient one. So all these sounds can really help you inspire to create some textures and so forth. So if we were to look at all the elements that would go into playing more ambiently or having more textures in your playing, it's obviously the sound is a big deal, of which reverb and delay plays a big role, number one. Number two, it's the type of voicings you're going to use. You saw me, and sometimes I played, you know, these voicings. Like really big sounds like that. Other times I did etc. And then other times it was purely a single note. So in addition to the sounds, work on your voicings, and I would encourage you to learn your triads, because the triads are going to show you what all the notes are in the chords in case you want to play individual notes, or it will show you what the actual chord shapes are. And then finally, I played different rhythms. So for the opening stuff, I played, I really kind of kept ringing on one note, or I did that ostinato thing when I played. And all these things will, the combination of your rhythms, your note choice, and your tone, that will help you to play and create these kind of ambient textures. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it, so to speak. If you want to dive in deeper, you want to work on any one of those three things: your rhythm playing, your triad knowledge, or work on your tones. And we've got videos on the channel that deals with all of those elements. So maybe I'll quickly play us another song and see how we might apply those ideas in a different song. Let's just have a look here. And if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I can answer those before we wrap for the day. Yeah, so the main thing is just what I would encourage you to do when you're learning songs. See if you can play stuff on the guitar without the song, but does that kind of can you hear the song even though you're just playing the voicings? You know, and it can be something super simple. Like I've just said, if the chords are 1, 6, 5, 4, then 1, 6, 5, 4, and that's all it is. 6, 5, 4, and just try and create get comfortable playing just the voicings. So hopefully that's useful. Manuel saying great lesson, thank you. Well, thank you, appreciate you, Manuel, and all you guys tuning in. If you have any more questions, feel free to pop them in the comments section. I'm happy to answer a few more. And let me go ahead and play Holy Forever. Obviously now I'm plugged into the Helix, and if you want any of these tones, if you go to I don't even know if you've got a link handy here, but shop.worshipguitarskills.com, that will take you to a place where you can grab any of these Helix tones that we are using on the channel. But yeah, let's have a look at Holy Forever. And then yeah, you might just do chord swells.
Falling down in worship to sing the song of ages to the Lamb.
So just swell.
And all have gone before us, and all who will believe will sing the song of ages to the Lamb. Your name is the highest. Your name
Single notes.
is your name stands above them all thrones and dominions, all powers and possessions. Your name stands above them all, and the angels cry, holy, all creation cry. Holy, you were lifted high. Holy forever.
Now as the band builds, my playing can build as well.
If you've been forgiven, and if you've been redeemed, sing the song forever to the Lamb.
Just 2-note voicings.
If you walk in freedom, if you bear His name, sing the song forever to the Lamb.
And the second time I go up.
Sing the song forever and amen. Though the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are
etc. So that's a great way just to build some more ambient sounds into your playing. And again, I just use the rhythms here. A nice tone, and also just knowing your voicings. F, B flat, F, D minor, C, B flat. And those are all of our 4/2 voicings that are on the channel. So it just goes to show that you don't need to learn super fancy chords. You just need to learn the triads, 3 notes, or even just reduce it to 2, like I've shown the 4/2 voicings. Make sure you work in your rhythm playing. So the rhythm is the thing that really makes the notes come to life. And then finally, make sure that you have a tone that's going to give some of that ambient vibe there. So that is a brief look into how you can create some textures on the guitar. If you guys want to see more of these things, I'm happy for us to do more YouTube videos in and around that concept. And just looking at, what you can do on the guitar. The main thing is just get a sound that inspires you and then learn how to play the notes of the triads. Because if I'm an E, etc. You just want to be able to play any of the notes of the E triad, or if it's C sharp minor, if it's B, if it's A, back to E. That's where your triads and arpeggios and so forth come in. Or if I were to, let's see if we, for some fun, maybe grab this E bow and then I play the note of all those chords, but just on one string. So maybe E could be, let's see if looks like my battery is gone here. E, C sharp minor, B, A, E, C sharp minor, B, A, E. All right, so that's what you can do when it's just basically knowing your triads and the notes that are in the chord. So hopefully that's an encouragement for you to work on those. So Mike is asking, do you have any other videos on triads? Yes, on our channel there's a ton of videos on triads and also on what we call 4/2 voicing. So for example, if I play the triads, and let me go and cut here. So if this is C, I mean the C shape, but it's E and E and E, the triads. I'll do that one more time. But then I just play the fourth note and the fourth string and the second string. C sharp minor, B, A, E. So we've got a ton of those on the channel with the 4/2 voicings, and then there's a lot of triad videos as well. And we also do something that you might enjoy, Mike, is we've got videos called I think it's called transformed triads, where, for example, if you were to play a D like this, but then you would either move one of the notes up or down within the triad, and then that can help you to expand triads. But really, triads is like, it's the basics that you really need to have down. So there's a ton on our channel, and you guys are also welcome to contact us. In fact, we've got a link that's called worshipguitarskills.com/questions. If you go there, you'll be able to send me a question. I think you can also give me your email address, and then I can reply to you via email. I can let you know which videos might be a good fit for you. So that's a good place for you guys to go to when you go and check out worshipguitarskills.com/questions. And I'd love to hear if you guys have any specific things, questions you have, and I can address those on future streams. And also, if we have a video that answers any of that, we've been publishing weekly for a long time. So there's, I think, over 300 videos on our channel. But if you have a specific question, we can kind of direct you in the right direction. All right, and Manuel saying, I love the song choices for the tracks you use. Maybe someday you can do Even So Come and How He Loves. Oh yeah, that's great. I'll definitely see if we might have How He Loves, because what we've got is we've got a subscription with MusicBed, and it's like a licensing software, not software, service. So, and all the Bethel songs are there, and I think there's some Hillsong songs, and I think John Mark McMillan is also there. So then at least that way we can legally use the songs in our streams because we are paying the subscription, and we can use it on YouTube like we are doing now. So I'll go and see if those songs are there, and we can definitely look into doing those. Well, guys, time always flies when we have these lessons, and when you look again, an hour has gone by. So I want to thank you guys for showing up. Thank you so much, and a big shout out to, let's just find Norman. Yeah, thank you so much for your super chat. Much appreciated, and we appreciate all the support on the channel, whether it's you leaving a comment, showing up, liking, sharing, buying a product, sending a super chat, any way that you are supporting us. We really thankful for that, and I'm happy to hear that a lot of you guys are getting value out of the videos and out of the lessons, and as a result raising your skill on the guitar, which then helps you to facilitate corporate worship sessions by you releasing your sound. And I think that's very important. And the one thing I wanted to say earlier on when we talk about vibrato, we all have unique fingerprints, right? Nobody has two of the same fingerprints. One of the cool things that God, how He made us. So when we learn to use our fingers the right way and we can play, you're going to sound like you and I'm going to sound like me. And that's really what you want to get out of the end of the day, to be able to find and release your sound. And that helps to develop your skill to learn the fretboard, because then you no longer feel constrained. And if you think about this like a painter, for example, if they're going to paint an awesome painting, they understand the colors, how to mix the different colors in order to get the right color when they're representing and they're painting. And for us, our palette, so to speak, is our fretboard. So we want to learn these triads so we know, okay, great, that's how I can use the triads, that's how I can paint my melodies and all those kind of things, which is why we kind of make a big deal about that. And another question is triads applicable to other genre like metal? Yeah, definitely. It's pretty much in all genres you'll find it. And depending on the style of metal, like neoclassical metal, is mostly just triads and arpeggios, very classically influenced stuff. But yeah, you're going to find that in all styles of music. It's basically just how you apply the triads that will go ahead and change as you go. So there we go. Wonderful. If this is your first time and you want to stay up to date with the notifications of these shows, just go to thatworshipguitarshow.com. You'll be able to sign up there, get access to all of the replays of the previous videos, and we can give you a heads up when we do new episodes like this. And if you have any questions, just go to worshipguitarskills.com/questions, and we'd love to hear how we can help you guys and give you guys what you need in order to improve. So with that, we're on the top of the hour. Much love to everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and then I shall see you guys next week. We are releasing another new video on Tuesday, and if you haven't seen our last video that we released on Tuesday, it's also up on the channel, and it shows you how to combine rhythm and lead, which is two things that I also did here today. All right, guys, have a good one, and I shall see you on the next one. Take it easy.